Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, riveting, and amazing Propagandacast with your host and Pearl Dane, the one, the only master propaganda heroes like defender of the fatherland. Off you to a 1v1 own. By you in the west, it is Nicko, back here from a small break here from Communist 2, perhaps getting ready for Communist 3, who knows, but we're here fighting for America, freedom, democracy. Rolling out with the 4th Armored Division with Rifle Company, Airborne Company, and Raycon support. In the east, it is IntegralSweed, fighting here for the German Army, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 2nd Panzer Division with Elite Armored, Breakthrough, and Special Operations. A full secondary Kubelwagen start versus Double Rifleman. And as always, a big hearty thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without these wonderful people's support, the Propagandacast would not be able to keep doing what it does. So big thanks to all those other people who join the ranks by Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal. Links are in the video description. And if you're in the market for pre-ordering Communist 3, just link in the comments, use the CoH2 3G, and I get a small part of the sale. I'll let you know, comment, like, share, subscribe. So, folks, going to be here for IntegralSweed. Sturmpeter on the south, Reasons heading south as well here for Nicko. Second round squad heading more towards the center north. Kubelwagen making a beeline here for the northern fuel point there for Deutschland. Sturmpeter backing a bit off here for IntegralSweed, having seized the southern victory point there. Reasons moving in, and they may then get a bit of support from the Sturmpeter. Maybe they don't. Looks like we're about to see the first engagement right here, close to the center victory point. Rifleman versus Volksgrenadier. Third round squad there for Nicko. Shots being fired. Falters back a bit off here in the face of the advancing M1 Garand wielding GIs. IntegralSweed Falters is definitely outmatched on pretty much every level. And they're going to have to retreat here before they just get absolutely fed into the American war machine and somehow only loses one gun. They actually get one, guys. I guess it's close to an equal trade there. Very fortunately for IntegralSweed, to admit. Very fortunate. Nicko here's that Ralph squad is out. Sturmpeter out as well here. Nicko does not, dilly-dally about it with rifle. He's wielding them aggressively. He's wielding their firepower like a knife. A bayonet. Full of the Ralph squad here. More troops arriving here now. Could see a bit more dangerous developments here for Nicko perhaps. Focusing down one squad that's already weakened out here, and at longer ranges, the Rifle squad do suffer a bit of drop off there, so there you go. Additionally, of course, the Kubelwagen provides more firepower for IntegralSweed, and suddenly the situation for Nicko, of course, gets a bit more awkward. That's a bit risk of getting so aggressive is like, theoretically he can get caught up in a situation like this where, his opponent starts hammering away there, and now he's using the Kubelwagen to mess with the formation line, the German troops to get closer, and make it harder for the infantry to fire back at the Germans. So this is suddenly a much rougher engagement here for Nicko, though he is certainly looking to take as many Germans as he can with him. But in the end, though, IntegralSweed and the 2nd Panzer Division, 7th Panzer Grenadier Company pulls through. Sturmpeter arriving, another full Grenadier squad there for IntegralSweed. Another player that's yet to be a commander here, noting that with Nicko, there's certainly a bit of an emphasis on paratroopers, pathfinders, stuff like that. IntegralSweed, well, officers actually, are sort of overrepresented there, or at least represented fairly heavily. So there are some overlaps there on both players. Some players like to have overlapping elements between the commanders, others don't care, it's just coincidental. But again, some, I find, do have some elements there. We turned out here for Nicko, truck for IntegralSweed, who's also gone for Spec Ops, featuring radio silence, the Sturmoffizier, infiltration tactics, the Infantry, and the Panther command tank. Kubelwagen base in the center, full of digging in here. Nicko there awaiting a possible German assault down its carve point. But so far, that has yet to really materialize, and thanks to the Nicko slowly moving northwards here, going to threaten IntegralSweed's fuel point in return. Still advancing up here, fortifying, making use of light cavalry there to basically lay down the heavy cover behind it, so the opponent can't make use of the heavy cover. Cheeky play there, but efficient. Kubelwagen Reasons, Karl there drops dead as the Kubelwagen secures another kill there for Deutschland. Looks like he's going to make a straight push through the center here, leaving himself open to a counterattack here for the south. Although he does have some units here in heavy cover, there's only chance this could backfire Nicko. Of course, if it does work out, could even allow him to push for the car point. In fact, we already got the field, but they're not falling. Instead, IntegralSweed is now going for the southern field point. So some pretty solid footwork here between both players, looking to actually them off guard. Neither quite gaining it, though at the same time able to hit the other's fuel point. Ralph squad rushing to the fuel point. Nicko need Kubelwagen support, at least for now, and of course, further support will be integral here to IntegralSweed in the south. Troops moving up here, Fulton's Sturmpeter there. Next range, Sturmpioneer though, kind of rubbish at longer ranges though, compared to like Panzer Grenadiers and other assault rifles. The Sturmpioneer's assault rifles have a bit of a harsher drop-off there, so that is a bit important to keep in mind there when it comes to using them for maximum efficiency. Could go for the Sturmoffizier here, would provide IntegralSweed, of course, a nice infantry element here. Nicko with the Stuart Light Tank, that will absolutely force Raketenwerfer here for IntegralSweed. That will absolutely force a Raketenwerfer. But we'll have to see what he goes for. But yeah, Nicko able to make use of the stone wall here to hold up his opponent quite well up north there, points being seized. Lieutenant the Rat and then grab the southern fuel point with the Kuppelwagen, no, dashing off instead of grabbing it. I feel like, I mean, it could be he wants to get the northern fuel point back, hard to say here. Upgrades down there, Stuart Light Tank almost done there for Nicko, Freedom and Democracy. We got the Schutzmine down here for IntegralSweed, which basically means infantry mine. A neat feature about this was actually made largely, I believe, out of wood and other materials, making it very difficult to detect with minesweepers. And they actually ended up using dogs, I believe, to spot these. And then they just, you know, detonate areas where they suspect there to be mines. Fun fact, by the way. Fun fact. Of course, endgame, you know. Yeah, minesweepers, obviously, because there's going to be all this hell to deal with. But, you know, in reality, again, the Germans would increasingly make more and more types of mines that were very, very difficult to detect with minesweeping equipment. Which would also at times, you know, backfire on them after the war, as they'd find prisoners of war being used to clear mines. That, for example, happened in Denmark. Reinforcing there, ambulance away there, but there you go. Nicko there racing with the light tank, shooting away there at those goddamn crowds. Could hit a mine here. Though IntegralSweed lacks anything to finish off with here. There we go. Another explosion. More damage. Crew probably having a bit of a rubbish day. They're at least alive. Grab Northern Fuel Point back. IntegralSweed, they're dancing around with Nicko. But Nicko is definitely, you know, despite having been absent, I think, for the game for some time, still showing himself to be an incredibly hardened veteran player here. Not one to take lightly. Raketenwerfer, though, is right around the corner, and we do get Nicko here with Bravo Company. Another mine goes off. Very good mining, by the way, by IntegralSweed. Thumbs up. Very good mining. But yeah, EC8 Shermans, Bravo Defensive Structures, Advanced Infantry Equipment, the M3 Half-Track, and the White Phosphorus Smoke Barrage. Machine gun holding up his Stuart, just diving out of there. Nicko calls knows better than trying to stick around there when there are possible German anti-tank weapons coming out after it. 50 cal almost done here for Nicko, Freedom and Democracy. Center being seized at the Fultons base up north here as well. Kuppelwagen Sturmpioneer setting out. Rushing straight ahead in the south here. Lieutenant grabbing the point here. Kuppelwagen being hammering away at the Ralph School there. We got a machining gewehr Morph IntegralSweed looking to further, you know, keep Nicko's infantry in check. He brings in more machining gewehren. Not a bad idea. He's probably also not going to bother with a flak half-track because he needs the fuel for the schwerer punted quarters due to the excellent work here by Nicko in control of the early fuel flow. Stuart racing forwards again like Kevin this time that is ready. And right here Nicko might accidentally racing a bit too far, but no, gets lucky. Swede here, bit too slow, doesn't get the panther fast off here, though the Stuart does suffer another Kednev hit. Had the panther fast gone off, that could have been very likely one burning Stuart. Still, Swede here reorganizing and turn the tide here against the Americans. Good work there. Less great for Nicko, who, of course, is no slouch and has immediately started equipping his men with the BAR Browning automatic rifle. Thumbs up. Charging ahead for Freedom and Democracy right into the German lines. Mines being laid down, machine gun being hauled up as well by IntegralSweed. As Nicko and the Freedom boys charge ahead, we got a Brandhand gun off there, MU-34 joining in, and suddenly Nicko's charge for Democracy suddenly loses a lot of steam here. He's forced to vacate the premises. Still, he should have a good chance of perhaps pushing a foot tanks here faster than his opponent. We do get Swede. They're going for the schwerer punted quarters fairly fast. Might be looking to get some Obersoldaten. Sadly, no Sturmoffizier. Again, very good unit, but tragically gets overlooked by a lot of Oberkommandos players I find. I imagine a lot of allied opponents are quite happy the Germans don't use him a lot. So Lieutenant Chad near the Fulton is here. Forces are routed. Machine Gewehr is the advancing rifle squad. Forces flanking in. Reyerson's caught him with Machine Gewehr. Stuart Racing Force got the camera ready here. Good shot then the Stuart Light Tank. 5th Cavalry has the MG-34. Rifle squad routed here in the face of German firepower. Kuhwagen causing need repair. So this is close to Infantry where it can start repairing itself. Oh, nice move here by Nicko. Quickly, right northwards of the hedges. So Swede follows. Then he just darts the Stuart towards the south. Again, falls on the cannon to reposition once more. Pretty clever use of the terrain here by Nicko against IntegralSweed. That way negating a lot of what the Kedman can do to his tank. Thumbs up. Machine's a bit of trouble here though. Mine's going off. Still very good mining by the way by IntegralSweed. Very good mining. Top-notch stuff there. Nicko though this time though is not dissuaded. He is not slowed down. Schwerer Panther Court being set up here by IntegralSweed. Brandhunt gun on the raft court there. Forcing a retreat here. Or, well, burning up. Really. Jason's right here from the center, up north here. Schwerer Panther Quarters almost enough in IntegralSweed. In the south, Fulker's busy here. Back at base, repairs going. Kuhwagen now actually free, so it can repair itself. Machine Gewehr, Fulker's with the Rifle Squad charting right ahead here. Machine gun though a bit too slow here. And the Rifle Squad does bypass it, though there are of course a lot of other sources of firepower nearby. That does compel Nicko to pull back the infantry there. Stuart being focused up again. Back at base here, and nothing further yet transpiring here for Nicko. No mortars, no half-tracks. I mean, few American players ever bother with half-tracks, to be honest. But, feel like pointing it out. But, no tech either. Meanwhile, IntegralSweed here's got the Schwerer Panther calls up. He could go for an Obersat squad now. He could also go for the Sturmoffizier. Again, so far, neither of these two options are really being explored by IntegralSweed, it would appear. Brandhunt got a bunch of infantry. Excellent toss-up there as well, particularly since it forced them to be out in the open versus the Machine Gewehr. Another push of IntegralSweed and the 2nd Panzer Division. Fairly good push here, catching Nicko in a bit of a state of confusion here. But again, we got a push from all the fuel pump. This hasn't authorized. There we go. He does authorize it, but it does come a bit too late for Swede. We also get a 2nd Lakeden Alpha. Starting to realize he might be on the receiving end of some tanks from the good old arsenal of freedom and democracy. Reinforcing healing here and there. Go Schwer Panther Course is opening up the lieutenant. In this case, the sandbags does buy Nicko a bit of time, but there are limits how much time they can buy against a 37mm flat cannon. Lieutenant routed, almost wiped out. Little fun fact about the flak gun he used. They actually had a version that was in the flak Zwilling, but they actually had 2 of these mounted on them, but they were actually only used, I think, within the German borders because, well, they were fairly advanced in comparison to the regular version. In fact, there were numerous various flak guns that were actually only used within the borders of Germany because they were so advanced, they were so difficult to maintain, it really couldn't, pay off for the Germans to have them outside the German borders, but they technically did have a bunch there, so that's a sort of a interesting little overlooked fact there. And we've grabbed some point with the Ralph squad here. 5th Cavalry Ralph squad moving forward here for Nicko. Good wipe on the full screen squad. Really, I think, should compel IntegralSweed to go for some infantry. And there we go. He does replace them with Obersoldaten. Thumbs up to that. Very good thing to replace them with. Meanwhile, Nicko here is sparring towards some kind of tank, I imagine. Would not be surprised to see the Sherman Easy-8. So we've got Ralph squads with the MG-34 here. South Ralph squad falling a bit back here, trying to bait the Germans out into the open. Not a bad move here by Nicko. Not a bad move at all. Could go for grenade assault here, then again he's probably taking up munitions for those Obersoldaten and MG-34. Or the Sturmgewehr. But most players do tend to prefer the MG-34, despite the Infantry Sturmgewehr being an excellent upgrade. In my opinion, at least. There we go. Does go for the MG-34. We've got Incendiary pistol lined up here as well here. Nicko's men there being absolutely mauled here. We've got Artillery Strike called in here. White phosphorus even. Nicko is meaning business there. North here, right by Lieutenant, we got these Kubelwagen racing into assist, backed up by the Obersoldaten there, the machine gun almost ready there. Machine gun base in the center here. It is quite hectic across the entire front line here. Nicko is not slowing down. He's exploiting every crack here in IntegralSweed's defensive lines he possibly can. And he's certainly helped by having a fair amount of infantry, as again, Swede is a bit shorter on the infantry complement. For an Oberkommando S player, that is. Kuban will eventually fall. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to go hit the Stuart, but yeah, his men are definitely taking some beatings. Got the 5th Cal ready there. Up north, points seized by the Volksgrenadiere. All of a sudden, I think should also get a move in here for Deutschland. Meanwhile, Nicko there within range of the Sherman EC8 in a matter of moments. Of course, the same as the Panzer IV Model J, but easily outperforms it in most areas, really. Has more health, roughly the same armor, better penetration. But even better accuracy. Classic and self-repair, deploy smoke. You can even like, set up in like gunnery mode to get more range. So, it's a quite solid tank. Last go check on the Volksgrenadiers here. Route it. Orbs are being swarmed by the infantry here under Nicko's command. He can go for the Sherman EC8 now. And of course it also has the Brad Pitt upgrade, which the German Panzer IV does not. Shoots, misses the rocket, completely screams right past us to a light tank here. Even imagine IntegralSweed feeling just a bit frustrated. There goes Sherman EC on the way there. IntegralSweed close again on the Panther IV Model J. He could also try and hold up the Command Panther, obviously. That definitely involves a few risks, to put it gently. More mines. Again, very consistent mining. Thumbs up to that. Very nice to see. If only it was consistent about, I don't know, Sturmoffiziers. Smaller force being dispatched southwards here, spearheaded by the Obersoldaten. Got the rear echelon bazooka team going for that Kubelwagen. And destroys it. For freedom. Last on something absolute mode with the German infantry. Routed here. 5th Cal though, bit of a headache for IntegralSweed. But now we got the Shermanese out here for Nicko. And I imagine you'll be looking at the tank commander, aka the Brad Pitt upgrade. 5th Cal routed. Still going for the opposite on the south here, lacking any anti-tank weapons. Can go for the Panther IV Model J, but again, he is not going for it, so I do suspect IntegralSweed might be planning for a Command Panther here. Still an upgrade for the Sherman EC8, despite having ample munitions. It's not like the Brad Pitt upgrade is particularly expensive. No, he does go for the Panther IV Model J, though perhaps the EC8 will compel him. Oh my! He's just going for the 5th Cal. No Brad Pitt upgrade here for Nicko. Can only imagine Brad Pitt somewhere is right now just fuming at the idea that someone is not immediately upgrading the Sherman EC8 with a Brad Pitt commander. Still racing in here, driving around the Raketenwerfer. He needs the other one down there. Oh, it's going to be really tough here for IntegralSweed to do much against numerous tanks here, in particular the EC8 at close range. So there you go, quick retreat here. Raketenwerfer setting up. Shoots, misses the EC8. And IntegralSweed is taking to the Panther IV Model J here, the Panzerkampfwagen 4 Ausführung J. From there, dumbing a bit back. Further falling back here. Up north, we got the Volksgrenadier Lieutenant here, but no upgrades in the Volksgrenadier squad here. Definitely means it's going to be a bit vulnerable. There you go, Grenade Assault. Thumbs up here to IntegralSweed. And if Nicko's paying attention, this could cause almost a wipe there. That was really close here. The troops being mauled here. Machine guns unleashing a torrent of lead here on Nicko's men. He's actually got a fair amount of manpower floating about. Could consider mortars or anything like that. But there you go, IntegralSweed's Panther IV Model J has arrived. That's basically up north. Large squad that being slowly blown out. Center picture pumping seized by the Volksgrenadiere. Need to get that Panther IV into the front line here. Of course, in a sensible manner, so it doesn't get immediately blown to bits here by the Sherman EC8. South here, Valve squad routed mercilessly. Panther IV remaining hesitant, yet not yet quite committed here against Nicko, but there you go. Looks like he's finally pushing it in here. Of course, he needs to be mindful here. Nicko does have a lot of firepower in return that could do a lot of damage to the Panther IV here. There's a bazooka team, there's a Stuart. The shell shock here to make it harder for IntegralSweed's Panther IV to fight efficiently back against Nicko here. Very good work there. Raketenwerfer's moving up here trying to catch the American tanks, but Nicko is already advancing so fast that Raketenwerfers can't get some clear lines of shot here on the Sherman EC8 or the Stuart light tank. And there you go, White Phosphorus deployed, really messing him with IntegralSweed's ability to defend himself. And there you go, the Panther IV goes down. He almost had the Sherman EC8 there as well, but He could try and, I suppose, grab the bazooka with the orbital dart and get off a shot on the EC8. That might get him the kill here. I don't know if he's going to be able to get the shot off. No. Instead, IntegralSweed here, in response to this outrage, is going for a third Academy for showing he's meaning serious business. There we go. Orbital with an MG34 and a bazooka. Got the Ralph squads advancing in it, backed up the 5th cal. Interesting enough, IntegralSweed's not really doing much in the north here versus Nicko. MG34 joining in here. There you go, third Academy. If it does mean he can really just unload like a serious volley of anti-tank fire against Nicko's tanks. Captain out there, grenade assault, almost gets wiped here, but again, fortune does smile upon Nicko just a bit there. But that's it, very nice throw there, good use of the ability. Also one of those more overlooked abilities by German players, but IntegralSweed at least seems to have realised this one is good, but so far, still not a big fan of the officer, unfortunately. Mines being laid down here around the corner. Academy absorbs on the move here. Let's go get hammered by Academy first. Almost got the Stewart. And there we go. Does score an armored kill here. Nicko. Small win there for IntegralSweed and Deutschland. In the south here, Ralfscourt just pinned down here. Machine gun just using it for target practice. Using them for target practice. Of course, keep in mind though, while units do get a bonus to help protect them, you know, from being murdered too fast when they're suppressed, it actually only lasts after a certain point, and I think after that they actually take increased damage, or at least that's how it was in Companies 1. I don't know that actually applies in Companies 2, or they just sort of lose that small defensive bonus, but worth pointing out. Betty Flynn in the MD-34. Sherman there, Veteran 2 already here for Nicko, Freedom and Democracy, though I think he might actually switch crews at some point, which is actually a really smart move there by Nicko, of course, if he did. Thumbs up to that, in case he did. I think he did. And there's still Academy going about here. Machine guns there. I mean, he's making fairly good. The machine guns help create, you know, some field control against all of Nicko's infantry. This combined with the Academy does create a more slower moving full seat, but one that theoretically, like, you know, could give Nicko a significant headache. But that said, Nicko has very smartly researched grenades, and he's using smoke here to help mitigate the advantage of machine guns. There you go. Mine goes off, and he's hit there as well. Academy's flying away though. None of the rockets hit though. And there we go. More smoke here from Nicko, this time from the Sherman. Really good use of smoke here. I mean, again, he's sussed out what IntegralSweed is doing, and he's using smoke to make it much harder for IntegralSweed to rely on all these support weapons too easily. Second orbital squad ready. White phosphorus again. Very good adjustment here to IntegralSweed's strategy by Nicko. Thumbs up. Machine gun in the south here, Veteran 4 by the way. That is very good work there by IntegralSweed. And keeping that far up here. Machine gun caught in the white phosphorus a bit there, at least can't shoot too easily. Up north here, we got the major push back here. Also moving in to grab the point. More machine gun down here for IntegralSweed. Gonna try and work the fuel pump on the south here, and I think Nicko's going to be going for another EZ in the near future. Will he upgrade that one, the Brad Pitt Commander, or will he continue his, by some heretical behavior, mostly by Brad Pitt, I imagine, and his fan club. Meanwhile, another EZ there for Nicko as expected. Machine gun remains just passive in the south here. Orbs on there, Veteran 2. They're being hammered at the 50 cal. Larger push northwards. EZ mean repositioning. South machine gun there being attacked. That said, folks on the wrong target. It's going to force retreat here for IntegralSweed. Other machine that's trying to maintain control of the front line, but it's being tough here with no need for support. And there you go. Lost his Veteran 2 orbital squad in the center. That's a huge blow here to IntegralSweed, and particularly at a terrible time here. Great kill though for Nicko. Really removes one of the bigger threats to his infantry and support weapons. And to add insult to injury, the MD-34 seized by the Americans. That is extra great here for Nicko. North here, the assault there with a massive load of Academy as they just fails to catch up with the EC8. Second EC8 has arrived, and we'll have to see if he upgrades that one, the 5th cal, or what he does. 11 kills so far on that one, very good. German troops being pushed back. IntegralSweed found himself with the back against the wall here as Nicko And the 4th Armored Division continues its drive. Finally getting those upgrade with the Sturmgewehr as well, or 2. Nicko definitely looks to have the upper hand now as IntegralSweed a bit more aggressively. There were some moments again where things were looking up for IntegralSweed, but Nicko, of course, is a veteran player and was able to adjust to it quite well. But I also think IntegralSweed then followed up with some tactical mistakes there that I think further, didn't help him. Also, he hasn't salvaged the Panther for a bit of fuel. Bit on the other side as well. That needs to retreat like out in the open versus an ace level unit with light machine guns and heavy cover. Not a great move there. Going back to the northern fuel point, but really IntegralSweed is struggling. And I do suspect at this point he's probably playing for a Command Panther here. Trying to take on Nicko Shermans. Stun up going the second one. Grenades off. Chemevers nearby. So again, Nicko does have enough munitions for another white phosphorus smoke barrage. Kenneting south at sea, engaging the orbital Dardan. Chemevers setting up here. Full wall of rocket fire here. Only one. Oh, 2 connects actually. North here, we've got the Rascal playing the MU-34 here. Folks being hammered with grenade fire here. Captain as well in trouble there. A lot of fighting, a lot of murdering going on in the south of the camp to keep up the pursuit of the ECHC. Still an upgrade on the second one. Rascal here pinned down, but the MU-34 moved a bit too far here. Great for IntegralSweed. Mine goes off as well here. Not enough for a wipe, but certainly enough to leave Nicko's men there quite beaten and bruised. Chems keep creeping up here. They're within range theoretically, but they don't quite know how close they are here to Nicko's Sherman ECH, but IntegralSweed is getting close to that Command Panther. He is getting very close, tantalizingly so. All of a sudden, move forwards. Machine gun here. Ace load by the way, being in there. Lieutenant's going to be caught here by that. Pack hard for Nicko, freedom and democracy. Grenade off here on the suppressed troops. Kaboom. Victor keeps moving out. There goes Sherman. Going to put like him. There go again. White phosphorus here. Very consistent use of it. Sherman is hit, almost knocked out here by the sheer torrent of Raketnev fire. All of a sudden being hammered with white phosphorus. North here, Raketnev, oh, 50 cal, I mean. Hammering the full screens there. Raketnev being pushed back. All of a sudden almost wiped out as well there. Quite the brutal blow there from Nicko. But IntegralSweed, there is now able to call in the Command Panther of the field's Panzerkampfwagen 5. But will it be enough against Nicko's EC8s? We shall see. Meanwhile, hard work fixing up that one again. Keeps getting pelted with 88mm rockets. Command Panther getting ready. Should be, of course, careful not to rush it in blindly, so risk losing it like the Panther 4. Should keep it properly supported. Instead, though, IntegralSweed is, well, basically rushing it kind of blindly here. Most of us into the also back here. And the south machine gun there getting hit with smoke from the lieutenant. Thumbs up. Need to get up there to support the Command Panther. We got 163 to 396. Machine gun pursuing, got lieutenant rushing forwards here. Quickly popping into heavy cover. Very smart move there, obviously. We do get an instant on piercing rounds also plus some infantry, but okay, he's moving the Command Panther there. Lieutenant here, though, may struggle a bit more with that. There go is forced to retreat. In particular, the grenade assault is a very good persuasive tool there for pushing Nicko out of that piece of heavy cover.
We're losing a capture point.
Excellent, even you might say. Command Panther rushing forward C. Until you find in the Fulton is under IntegralSweed's command the southeast movement to the MU-34. Rushing forward C, machine gun there by the way, close to the east as well here. Get bad along in Nicko's infantry, and there we go. There's quite a blow here, plus the MU-4 turning into as well here. Could get ugly here for Nicko's men in the south. The reactions there about to get wiped out here by IntegralSweed. Quite a kill there. Grenades off though. Wiping IntegralSweed's veterans E4 near ace level machine gun crew there. It's a great kill for Nicko. Panther firing away there. Nothing further there for IntegralSweed elsewhere. Panther wing forwards. Sherm's wing about. Who's being hammered here? Panther taking a hit here. Doing special thing 34. Quick recruit, but again, just nowhere near as ace as used to be. all remaining. I definitely think he should be better, like, getting some machine guns into up to where it matters the fighting here. Like, he's already got so many troops here. Why is he keeping the machine gun down there? We can do more up here and to support his frontline troops. I feel like that's sort of a bit of a mistake that keeps cropping up here in IntegralSweed's play. Like, you know, he's got these otherwise powerful units, and then he's just, like, too slow to bring them up. If he even brings that at all here. Almost got the 82 Sherman EC8 here, but he does quickly dodge out. He makes use of its great speed here against the German anti-tank guns. Machine gun there, final spot. Should pop some incineroar prison rounds here for extra damage. The situation definitely messy here. For IntegralSweed, need to get his troops back in action. And Schnell. Grenades off here. Brandhandgranate, unleashing a torrent of hellfire there upon the Americans. Anti-tank gives in a bit of a toss spot machinery positioning here, but leaving its flank quite exposed. Akema's about to get wiped as well here. Nicko is just laying down a torrent of beatings now upon IntegralSweed here. His command panther is also in danger repairs. The problem is, he's got no stone pioneers. They got wiped. He's got no mechanized, you know, regiment either for repair pioneers, so he's got no way of fixing up his heavily damaged command panther at the moment. He's forced to replace them. The Sturmpioneer, which, you know, means there's no manpower going to anything else either. Really tough spot to be in for IntegralSweed here. And Nicko, meanwhile, just keeps up pressure, keeps momentum, keeps up the 50 cals there. Keeps up not being a fan of Brad Pitt, clearly. North here, full push for that pump. We got a captain in heavy cal with a lot of bars, plus, of course, the German MG-54. Force retreat here on the full Scudder. So looking pretty bad here for IntegralSweed, looking pretty rough. Nicko right now holds a significant advantage, and he's only building upon it. We're going for more Sherman EC8s. Very strong position to be in for Nicko. Quite the opposite for IntegralSweed, who is now working on fixing up his command panther, but that is always going to take some time. Birmingham with the 5th cal, the rifleman, grenades off here, another grenade assault. This time they're just not enough. Machining gun bits in the south of the rifle squad. North here, captain holding up. Another EC there for Nicko.
Enemy forces have 100 points remaining.
Rifleman's the Kedmir first. Wiped. Machining gun sitting out. There we go, 3rd Sherman out. Troops being murdered. That's a total of 3 Shermans here for Nicko. Yeah, IntegralSweed's really lost map control now. His infantry force is also looking quite awkward. And he's also tactically just increasing line ahead on attacks here when they're clearly just throwing away manpower against Nicko, whose tanks are just, you know, absolutely obliterating them alongside the 5th cal here. So this does kind of feel like it's pretty much GG for IntegralSweed. I mean, theoretically he still has the force left, but again, the way he's applying it just means it doesn't really matter. So yeah, this kind of looks like GG. We'll have to see. Maybe the game is in fact waiting for him to... waiting to realise he's actually left the game. I don't know. There you go. Nicko with a nice armoured phalanx, and there go IntegralSweed surrenders. GG, game over. Good win here. Nice fight here with Nicko back in the seat there. And making, I think, some fairly good use here of the rifle commander, showing what it's got here. Of course, earning the undying hatred of Brad Pitt in the process. So there you go. GG, game over. IntegralSweed, I think, had some nice moments, but again, I feel like, you know, failed to leverage everything. Like, again, the Sturm officer there was, I think, one issue I think could make use of. But also tactically relied too much use brute force, not enough maneuvering here, which I think made it easier for Nicko to deal with him, slow him down. There were some moments, like, you know, a lot of Kevlar's machine guns, but even then, at times, he, I think, failed to, like, really fully leverage them, and at times we have them hanging back where they weren't doing any good. So, definitely some room for improvement there, but I will hope you enjoyed this match. You'll learn something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it. Tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This is IntegralSweed. Cheers. Thank you all for watching. Up till tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.